Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys predicted to trade for former 1,100-yard starting RB. There are few teams in the NFL in quite the strange position heading into this year's NFL draft as the Cowboys. On one hand, this is a team that went 12-5 last year, a team that was a Super Bowl contender for much of the season, a team that has gone 36-15 over the past 3 seasons. On the other hand, it is a team that has been sapped in free agency, that has numerous major holes to fill and needs an influx of talent to maintain their contender status. It's a tough needle to thread, but one way the Cowboys could do it is by making trades, potentially sending away late-round picks in exchange for players who have at least proven themselves worthy of getting NFL snaps. And one such player could be on the move this week as the draft approaches. Texans running back Dameon Pierce, who tallied 1,104 yards as a rookie in 2022 before falling out of favor with a new coaching regime last year. In an article titled, 2024 NFL Draft, Realistic Trade Predictions for 6 Veterans Who Could Be Moved During the Draft, Pro Football Focus writer Marcus Mosher predicts that Pierce will be traded, with Dallas as a potential destination. Pierce is only 24 years old and was a 4th-round pick out of Florida in 2022. He made a name for himself as a rookie when he rushed for a respectable 939 yards in 13 games, averaging 4.3 yards per carry. He suffered an ankle injury that held him out of the final 4 games of the season. Pierce totaled 4 rushing touchdowns and added 165 yards receiving out of the backfield, with another touchdown. The Texans appeared prepared to make him a key part of the offense in 2023, but he lost out on carries to free agent signing Devin Singletary. That makes Pierce, coming off a season in which he averaged only 2.9 yards per carry and played only 32% of the team's snaps, a prime trade candidate for teams that don't land the running back they want in the draft this week. Here's what Marcus Mosher wrote at PFF: the Texans have since added Joe Mixon and rewarded him with a new contract. He will be their starter in 2024 and beyond, but it wouldn't be surprising to see the Texans draft a running back with some speed to complement him. Luckily for Pierce, this is a pretty weak running back class, and there could be a handful of teams looking for a competent starter in the trade market. Teams in need of a starting caliber running back could be interested in flipping a late day 3 pick for Pierce, who best fits a gap scheme. The Cowboys don't have much established in the running game at this point, with starter Tony Pollard having been sent packing in free agency, accepting a deal to join the Titans. His backup, Rico Dowdle, re-signed with the Cowboys, and Dallas has inexperienced players Deuce Vaughn and Royce Freeman behind him. The presumption is that the Cowboys will use a high draft pick on a running back, but with other holes to fill, it might well make more sense to keep their own 2nd or 3rd rounder and instead flip a late pick for a player like Pierce. Pollard needs to be replaced, obviously, and it is unlikely that it will be Dowdle doing so. Maybe Pierce won't be up to the job either, but as a low-risk gamble with some NFL resume behind him, he may be worth a shot. Cowboys' Jerry Jones issues strong view of CeeDee Lamb amid contract questions. The Dallas Cowboys had a good regular season last year, followed by a disappointing finish in the playoffs. An ending to the year that Dallas fans are all too familiar with. The team needs to take the next step in the postseason, but the Cowboys have been surprisingly quiet in terms of offseason moves. For example, one player that people are expecting to get a contract extension is CeeDee Lamb. So far, nothing. I think CeeDee's one of the best players in the NFL, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said, according to an article from The Athletic. I think he's very instrumental because of his position to quarterback success, personally. I think if you look at the complementary football, he does it all there for you. He's multifaceted in where we can line him up, the type of things we can use him for. He's dedicated in his practice and he's sound physically. That puts him really right there at the top as far as a player. I guess the answer is without saying any more, I think he's one of the top players in the NFL. It is certainly a surprise to see the Cowboys' lack of action this offseason, but Jerry Jones is clearly happy with how his roster looks. "Very proud of this roster," Jones said. "Very much think this roster, without knowing right now how much the rookies are going to contribute, we feel good about the promise of the team we're going to have this year with this roster. We will have young players step up, no names that become names because names have left and are off the roster. Those guys have got to step up. We're all in with these young guys. We're all in with this draft." Quarterback Dak Prescott has been a big talking point this offseason, as well as CeeDee Lamb, and Jones also had a lot of positive things to say about QB1. "We want Dak Prescott," Jones said. "That's that. I give Mike a lot of credit for Prescott's improvement last season. That improvement demonstrated to me there's more as far as ultimately winning what we're trying to do here. The question nails it for me. We want Dak. We think that there's room for growth. If you are a team that has a lot of cap room, and then you have a quarterback for a little while that is well underneath in his rookie contract, San Francisco last year, us with Dak early after we had Tony Romo, boy, we had a lot of credit card use there on Romo. Dak came along, so we didn't have to have it, so we were able to absorb that money and still keep Tyron Smith around him. So Dak has enjoyed, in his career that we're proud of, some of the best supporting casts that you could put around him. To move forward, we will have to diminish that. That's a fact. That's the rules. That's our challenge, and to make it work out. Dak is the quarterback Cowboys, I don't even have a blink on that one. The NFL draft is happening later this week, and perhaps the Cowboys will make some off-season noise then." Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones sends clear message over Dak Prescott's future. Jerry Jones isn't prepared to secure a new long-term contract for Dak Prescott just yet, despite his 8-year tenure with the Dallas Cowboys. Jones is adamant about keeping Prescott in Dallas. Yet speculation continues among NFL fans about the potential for the Cowboys to seek a new quarterback in the forthcoming draft, driven by reluctance to provide Prescott with an extension. Prescott's current deal with Dallas runs through the conclusion of the 2024 season, the final year of his 4-year, $160 million, £128.4 million contract. But there has been no public discussion of extending his contract to assure his future with the team. "If you've got trouble with when the timing is around here, it's because I'm not ready to go," Jones said to ESPN about the team's contract negotiations. When directly questioned about Prescott, Jones illustrated how the team has done everything within their power to equip him with supportive offensive talent. "Dak has enjoyed, in his career that we're proud of, some of the best supporting casts you could put around him," he continued. "To move forward, we will have to diminish that. That's a fact. That's the rules. That's our challenge, and to make it work out, Dak is the quarterback of the Cowboys. I don't even have a blink on that one." Jones has been vocal in his admiration for Prescott's abilities on the field and his potential, often discussing this with media and on podcasts, particularly highlighting his achievements from the last season. Prescott demonstrated remarkable improvement, which is reflected in his stats from the previous season, including a passer rating of 105.9, 4,516 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and a mere 9 interceptions. The hands-on owner, Jones, has also recognized the influence of coach Mike McCarthy on Prescott's development, especially considering both are approaching contract years in 2024. However, Jones pointed out the financial hurdles facing the team, suggesting that they might have to cut back on Prescott's support due to salary cap limitations. With various needs to address and only about $6.3 million, $5.1 million, in cap space for 2024, the Cowboys find themselves in a bit of a financial squeeze. The NFL has announced a hefty salary cap of $255 million, £204.7 million for the 2024 season, marking a significant increase from previous years. Prescott's contract is set to take up a substantial chunk of the Cowboys' salary cap, accounting for a whopping $61.92 million, £49.7 million, in 2024 if it remains as is. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Dak Prescott? Leave your opinion in the comments.